The story below is written as a complete YouTube narration for your channel. The sharp crack of bodies hitting the mat echoed through the crowded martial arts academy on a bright Saturday morning, but nobody expected the next sound. It wasn't another throw or a referee's whistle. It was the terrifying silence that followed as 17-year-old Kaya Mercer desperately clawed at the thick arm crushing her throat while dozens of spectators watched in stunned disbelief. Her opponent, a celebrated black belt nearly twice her size, refused to release the choke even after the instructor yelled to stop. Kaya's face turned pale, her vision blurred, and panic spread through the gym like wildfire. Yet hidden among the parents in the back row stood a quiet man wearing faded jeans and an ordinary gray shirt. No one recognized him. No one realized that behind those calm eyes was a decorated Navy SEAL who had spent years protecting lives under impossible circumstances. What happened during the next few minutes would change every person inside that academy forever. Before we continue this unforgettable story, please take a moment to like this video, comment below, share it with someone who believes in kindness and second chances, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire so you never miss another powerful story that reminds us how courage and compassion can change lives. Morning sunlight poured through the academy windows, creating bright golden patches across the blue training mats where students warmed up for the regional sparring exhibition. Families filled every seat, cheering proudly as children tied their belts and bowed respectfully before stepping into friendly competition. The atmosphere felt joyful, filled with excitement rather than pressure. Kaya Mercer had dreamed about this day for months. She wasn't the strongest student in the building, nor the fastest, but she had earned every stripe on her belt through relentless determination. She had spent years balancing school, part-time work at a neighborhood bookstore, and endless evenings practicing technique until her hands blistered. Her greatest supporter was her father, Rowan Mercer, a widowed single dad who rarely talked about his military career. To everyone else he was simply the quiet maintenance supervisor who always smiled politely and stayed in the background. Few people knew he had survived combat missions that demanded impossible courage. Fewer still knew he carried memories that haunted him every night. After losing his wife to illness years earlier, Rowan promised himself that protecting Kaya would always matter more than medals, recognition, or pride. He believed martial arts would teach her confidence, discipline, and resilience. Instead, he was about to witness the moment that nearly stole everything from him. Across the mat stood Victor Hale, an adult black belt admired by many younger students. He possessed remarkable talent, but his success had slowly transformed into arrogance. Instead of encouraging beginners, he enjoyed humiliating them. Instead of teaching respect, he believed fear created stronger fighters. Several parents had quietly complained about his rough behavior during practice, but the academy owner dismissed every concern because Victor consistently won tournaments and attracted new students. Reputation had become more valuable than character. Kaya had noticed Victor's attitude before, yet she trusted that exhibition matches would remain controlled under the instructor's supervision. She wanted to prove to herself that skill and discipline mattered more than intimidation. The exhibition began with polite bows, respectful movements, and technical exchanges that delighted the audience. Kaya relied on speed instead of strength, slipping away from heavy attacks while scoring clean points with disciplined precision. Her confidence grew with every successful movement. Spectators applauded her determination. Some even whispered that she might upset the Academy's favorite competitor. Victor's expression slowly hardened. Every successful defense from Kaya bruised something far more dangerous than his body. It bruised his ego. He stopped treating the match like an exhibition and started treating it like a personal insult. His strikes became harder. His breathing grew heavier. The instructors noticed the change but assumed experience would keep everything under control. Then everything changed in a heartbeat. Victor suddenly grabbed Kaya during a scramble, locking his forearm tightly around her neck. At first the hold appeared legal, but instead of allowing space for a safe submission, he squeezed harder and harder. Kaya immediately tapped against his arm, signaling surrender exactly as every martial artist is taught from their first lesson. The referee shouted for Victor to release the hold. He ignored the command. Another instructor yelled louder. Parents rose from their seats. Children stopped warming up. The cheerful atmosphere disappeared beneath overwhelming fear. Kaya's hands weakened as oxygen faded. Her face became frighteningly pale. Several people rushed toward the mat but hesitated, uncertain how to intervene safely. Rowan moved before anyone realized he had left his chair. His steps were calm rather than frantic. Years of military training had taught him that panic saved no one. Within seconds he reached the mat, positioning himself with remarkable precision. Without throwing a punch or displaying unnecessary aggression, Rowan applied a controlled technique that instantly forced Victor's grip open while protecting Kaya from further injury. The movement happened so quickly that many spectators barely understood what they had witnessed. Kaya collapsed into her father's arms, gasping desperately for air as he gently reassured her with steady hands and calm eyes. The gym remained completely silent. Victor staggered backward, furious that someone had embarrassed him in front of the entire academy. Instead of apologizing, he demanded that Rowan stay out of martial arts matters he supposedly didn't understand. His voice echoed through the building with misplaced confidence. Rowan simply looked at him with remarkable composure before quietly reminding him that martial arts existed to protect people, never to satisfy pride. The calmness in his voice somehow carried greater authority than any shout could have achieved. Even the loudest students fell silent. One elderly visitor sitting near the entrance slowly stood up. He had watched Rowan's intervention with growing disbelief before finally recognizing a distinctive military tattoo partially hidden beneath his sleeve. Years earlier the two men had served on separate operations supporting the same rescue mission overseas. The elderly veteran quietly approached the academy owner and whispered Rowan's name. Within moments whispers spread across the room. Parents began searching online. Former service members attending the exhibition recognized photographs from military charity events. The quiet father sitting unnoticed in the back row was not simply another parent. He was a highly decorated Navy SEAL who had spent years risking his life rescuing civilians and fellow soldiers from impossible situations. Yet Rowan showed no interest in attention. His only concern remained the daughter still recovering in his arms. Emergency medical staff soon confirmed that Kaya would recover fully because help had arrived before permanent damage occurred. Relief washed across the room, but so did uncomfortable reflection. Several parents admitted they had noticed Victor's aggressive behavior for months without speaking loudly enough. Some instructors confessed they had ignored warning signs because confronting a successful competitor felt inconvenient. The academy owner lowered his head in shame as he realized that protecting a reputation had nearly destroyed a young woman's future. That lesson hurt more than losing trophies ever could. The following week the academy looked very different. Safety procedures became stricter than ever before. Every instructor completed additional training emphasizing responsibility, humility, and student welfare. Competitions were redesigned to ensure immediate intervention whenever dangerous behavior appeared. More importantly, students began discussing respect with greater seriousness than medals. Kaya returned after recovering, not because she wanted revenge, but because she refused to let fear define the rest of her life. Her first steps onto the mat were uncertain, yet every student applauded as she bowed with quiet confidence. Strength, she realized, was not measured by how forcefully someone could dominate another person. Real strength appeared in those willing to stand back up despite painful memories. Rowan continued sitting quietly in the back row during every practice session. He never accepted interviews. He declined recognition from local newspapers. When grateful parents thanked him for saving Kaya and inspiring change, he simply reminded them that courage belonged to everyone willing to protect those who could not protect themselves. He believed heroes were ordinary people making extraordinary choices during ordinary moments. That belief slowly transformed the academy into a place where children smiled more freely than ever before. Months later the academy hosted another exhibition on another beautiful morning filled with bright sunshine and hopeful families. This time the loudest applause came not after spectacular kicks or impressive victories, but after every competitor helped an opponent back to their feet. Respect became louder than pride. Compassion became stronger than ego. Kaya eventually earned her black belt through patience, discipline, and kindness. During the ceremony she looked toward her father sitting quietly in the same chair where everything had once changed. Their eyes met, and neither needed words to understand what that moment truly meant. The greatest lesson had never been about fighting. It had always been about choosing humanity when strength offered another path. If this story has touched your heart so far, please write "respect over pride" in the comments below. Your words help spread this message of courage, kindness, and second chances to more people who may need it today. As the years passed, new students joined the academy without ever fully knowing the frightening event that had transformed its culture. They simply experienced a place where instructors valued safety above trophies, where stronger students encouraged weaker ones, and where every bow carried genuine respect instead of empty tradition. Rowan remained the same humble father who packed lunches, fixed broken bicycles, attended every practice, and quietly reminded Kaya that true warriors never forget compassion. His military service had taught him how to survive battles, but fatherhood had taught him something even greater. The strongest hands are not the ones that strike the hardest. They are the hands that lift others when they fall. And on one unforgettable morning beneath the bright daylight, one Navy SEAL reminded an entire community that no belt, title, or reputation is ever greater than a single human life. Before this story ends, if it inspired you or moved your heart in any way, please like this video, leave a heartfelt comment, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire. Your support allows more inspiring stories of courage, kindness, and hope to reach people around the world. Remember, the world doesn't become better because the strongest people win. It becomes better because ordinary people choose to protect one another when it matters most.